All right, guys, it's about that time. Chris Brooks here with you. First full Friday night in Mississippi. And truth be known here, I'm looking at my computer when I should be looking at my camera up there. But I've got to pay attention to what's going on down here, too. Truth be known, I'm sitting here and I'm getting ready for, like I said, the first full Friday night. And I'm clicking buttons on the computer here, and I clicked the wrong button to get started a little quicker than I wanted to get started. But hope you're having a good night. Like I said, big night around Mississippi. A couple of things I want to do here real quick. First of all, thanks to our sponsors for everything that we've been able to do already to get this season started and what we're going to be do here over the next few weeks. I can see messages that are scrolling across my screen, so feel free to comment. You can comment on Twitter, on Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and it will roll in right here on my screen. Not sure if you guys can see what I'm doing there. I'm guessing that you can't, but I can see it. Thanks to our sponsors, Capital Ortho, done 15 years of business with them as I'm moving stuff around here. And the good people out there, we'll get into that a little bit more. This is going to be a quick show, maybe 15, 20 minutes to preview what's going on around the state tonight. Excited about the big games going on. We're brought to you by Country Pleasing Sausage and Henry Cooper and my friends down there in Florence and everything they do, Country Pleasing Sausage and Country Meat Packers. If you haven't been at their store, make sure you get down there. Brought to you by SoundcomAV.com. That's Soundcom Studios. Keith, appreciate my friends there and what they've done for me to help me get the magazine out this year and for what we're going to do during the season. And also, you might notice, those of you that know me, I'm not the slickest dresser in the world. But when you're not, you make sure that you have friends that are. And Luke Abney with The Rogue is a big buddy of mine. Shout out to Mr. Abney. But anyway, he's determined he's going to make me look better this year, and I appreciate it. This is a start. This is a jacket, something I do not wear a lot of, but it feels pretty awesome. The shirt under it's something called Collars & Co. And this is all new to me, okay? Brand new. But it feels awesome. Stiff collar, things I have issues with. If you see me walking around, I'm going to be wearing Under Armour guy, 100%, or Nike gear, things like that. But I'm getting a little older, and I need to step up a little bit. I noticed Jennifer, like she saw me wearing the nicer shirt, and she maybe let out a whistle. It was something like that. But the other difference in doing video, like I could do that if I'm on radio, take a drink, and you can't see what's going on here in studio. But anyway, real quick, like I said, I want to get into a few of the games that are going on tonight. Just top 10 games. Shout out to the junior colleges from last night. I have had two kids go through the junior college system. Connor played at Jones. Caleb's entering year 2 right now at Colin. I went to Colin. And then Camo is a senior at Northwest Rankin here as we wrap up, our high school baseball days. But love the junior colleges. Have nothing but respect for those kids. So shout out to a couple of big winners last night. Chris Jones, new head coach out at Hines. Congratulations to you, my friend. That's a big win for them over at Awamba. I'm doing this off the top of my head, not looking at the scores. Colin, huge winner last night over Coahoma. If you saw our junior college magazine edition that came out came out yesterday, Thursday. I'll get into, appreciate that, Alicia. I'll get into that here in just a little bit, but back to the scores real quick. If you looked in our magazine, Colin's the preseason favorite, followed by Gulf Coast in the south, East Central right there. If you go to the northwest, a big winner last night. East Mississippi, number 2. 3 is Holmes. Holmes got beat at home by Southwest, which was a huge win for Southwest. Floyd, what's up, buddy? Hey, look, and all good. And just so y'all know, if you've listened to my radio show, since I'm doing video here, and look at the screen, like I I have cool graphics and things, but if you ever listen to me do radio, I'm really not like that. Like I'd be unbuttoning this, and there's no telling what I'd be doing. So I'm going to do this like that. The other thing I have an issue with, and then we'll get to the back to the Gridiron Game Day stuff. I'm looking at the computer monitor here, and one way I know that I have changed in the 15 years doing this, 15 years. Okay, this is the 16th time we put out a magazine. To look at my screen, I may have to do this, and I don't feel good about this at all. So I think I'm going to have to get rid of the glasses. This would be a question for the crowd. Like, do I use the glasses and be able to see, or do I ditch the glasses and I do this the whole night? I'm leaning towards ditching the glasses, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm leaning toward ditching for sure for here just a little bit. But I'm noticing like I'm getting some messages here. I can read them. And as long as I can read the messages, I think I'm going glassless. Ryan, appreciate you, man. Big 64 for Pearl. Ryan's kid is a stud offensive tackle for the Pirates. Or no, he's offensive guard. Is he playing out wide or is he playing at center, Ryan? If you don't mind, let me know. But big old boy, good player. And I remember giving him advice to move the kid inside. You know, kids that he's maybe 6'2", maybe. But, you know, college coaches are looking for 6'6", 6'7" Goliaths. But if you can play the center position, they don't pay as much attention to it. And I've seen kids that it helped to move to the center spot to open up opportunities. I watched a kid last night, Landon Bridges, started for Central Arkansas, former Northwest Rankin kid. And he made a move in college. He had to play guard in high school. Tanner Welch was there. Tank with him was playing tackle. Tackle for Pearl, but college wanted him for center. Thanks, Ryan. But Tank, by the way, is at Northwest. Man, I could do a whole show. I should have. I've been so busy. I really intended to do several of these shows, but locking these magazines up and getting that done doesn't offer me a lot of time. But I have it now. But I'm like Northwest picked up. They picked up Tank. They picked up Reed Jaslowski. Had a good game for him last night. Scored a touchdown. Two Division I quarterbacks, a kid from Mercer and a kid from Mizzou. So they're loaded. Colin is loaded with a couple of Mississippi State kids, a big 6'9" offensive lineman. But like I said, that's a show for another day. But let's see what else I've got here. Floyd, appreciate you, man. Hey, and your kid's going to have a great year. Floyd, appreciate you reaching out to me on X. Sean B. will be at the Morton-Newton County game tonight. I didn't have that down to go over. I know a little bit about both of those teams. Of course, Morton with a couple of studs. The McDonald kid, two of them. Dolph, I think, is the junior, I believe. The senior is the wide receiver. That's such a big deal. Under the Lights. Appreciate you, man. I remember when you started doing that show, and I'm looking forward to doing more of this. And like I said, the video is different. Like radio, you feel like you can do whatever, and you don't have to worry about it. Look who chimes in here. Whenever you're doing a show like this, y'all tell me what the proper decorum is here, okay? Do you acknowledge your mother-in-law on the show? I believe the answer to that is always yes. Betty Barrett Blackburn Cameron. Of course you acknowledge it. Appreciate you, Betty. My in-laws are pretty amazing, John and Betty, by the way, if you didn't know that. If you listen to me on the radio, you already know that. But I want to get into a couple of these games real quick, okay? Because I need to get on the record with picks because I didn't have time to do that, okay? QB is a junior wide receiver, senior, two really good athletes. Yeah, appreciate that, Sean. The Tupelo Brandon game tonight. I'm going to make an appearance for that, I believe, second half is the plan. I'm going to start out at Hartfield. I want to see Hartfield-Columbia. Great matchup between crossover of the academies and the public schools. Hartfield, of course, everybody knows about Braylon Womack. 3 or 4 Division I kids on that roster, maybe more than that. Ryan, I don't believe that. See, y'all, the only problem with the text message, though, is it's going to get me off track. And I'm so ADD that I'm going to forget what I'm doing. And I have all these buttons. Y'all can't see my hand, but it's moving down here. All these buttons, and I don't know what I'm doing yet. So between the buttons and the glasses and the messages, I'm never going to get to anything. Tupelo, number 1 in the state. Brandon, number 2. Tupelo's without their quarterback tonight. So that will affect things. That's an Ole Miss commit, a defensive back. He's playing quarterback, but he will be out. I think top to bottom, Tupelo is probably a deeper, better team, but Brandon, I think, is going to be the winner at home. Sladen Shack's maybe the best quarterback in the state. Maybe he's just a junior. If you're in the area and you want to see two unbelievable running backs, J.J. Hill with Tupelo, and then, of course, Brandon with Tyson Robinson. That's the backdrop here. Tyson's covered up a little bit there with the messages coming in. You see J.J. Hill. Listen, Tupelo has 3 SEC running backs. J.J. Hill is a senior. They have a junior and a sophomore. So that roster's loaded. Kid going to Florida as a defensive end. I'm not going to get into everybody's name. We'll have to do that a little later because I'm going to run out of time here. I only have 10 minutes, and I got to hit the road and head to Hartfield. I think Brandon wins it at home. It's a rematch of last year's state championship game. And if you watch that game, Tupelo had their way. Brandon hung around and tried to make a game of it, but Tupelo was by far the dominant team. I think Brandon under Lance Pogue, we don't even have time to really do that. I really need to do like 2 hours of this or an hour a day. Next week, I'm going to do this an hour a day. I just made an executive decision. 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll do this live for next week, and we'll see how it goes. I'm also doing Matt Wyatt's show Wednesday. Wednesday at 12, I'll be hosting the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone. Happy to do that for him. Matt's a busy guy, man, and he's a really good friend, good dude. I think Brandon gets the win at home over Tupelo, but we'll see. That's a big game. Oak Grove at Starkville. Starkville has a bunch of young kids coming up. And if you're not familiar with the name Kingston Johnson, a quarterback that some people tell me is as talented as anybody in the state. New head coach in John Carr. That's a great program. Of course, Chris Jones, now the head coach at Hines, year 1 there for him. He's been the head coach at Starkville for the last several years. His glasses are going to bug me, though. Like they're moving all over the place on my face. We're going to have to figure that out. But Oak Grove has a ton of talent too. One of the state's best quarterbacks, only a junior. What's his name? It's Kellen Hall. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. I believe that's right. Sean, the kid in Starkville, I've had people tell me he's the best quarterback in the state. Now I don't know because he hasn't done anything yet, but we'll see. But you're hearing things like that. I could also do this. Look, I could pull the glasses down a little bit and I could look at the screen and then I can still see you. That's probably the direction we're headed here because it's pulling down to the bottom of my nose anyway. Chris Kersey, Picayune Win State. There's a couple of things I know when doing these rankings. I'm glad we were able to put the magazine out. Of course, you can read it for free digitally. I'm impressed with the prints. I was a little nervous about that, but people that have ordered prints, some have already gotten them back. So that's a big deal. And I've gotten nothing but compliments so far on the quality of those magazines in terms of the printing. So if you haven't gotten it and ordered it early, it should be coming. But 2 things I know. You always vote West Point, and I kind of went against this. You really should vote Picayune 1 in that classification. We went with Grenada, and that's respect to the defending state champs. But Chris, I thought about Picayune just because they're loaded again. But back to this game, I think Starkville pulls off a shocker over Oak Grove. Oak Grove's really deep. Both these teams are deep. And Oak Grove may very well go in there and get that win. But I think Starkville's going to win at home. We're going to have to work on this cup too. It feels like an excellent time for product placement. There should be something on this. And also, I've got to show y'all something later. Back to this here in just a minute. The shirt I'm wearing, okay, this collars and co thing, and Luke knows this. Like, I'm a walking billboard. This might be the best shirt I've ever owned. And that's not like trying to sell the shirt. Because when I take the jacket off later, like there's a revelation there. I could wear this thing to anything. I'm going to wear this shirt to the game. If you see me at the game, I'm going to wear this shirt. Come up and say hi to me. Whether you're in Brandon or whether you were at the Hartfield Columbia game tonight. Starkville at home. Picayune at Gulfport. Gulfport has a new quarterback, a kid that came in from Silliman over in Louisiana, and his name escapes me for some reason right now. It'll come up here in a minute. Cooper Crosby's a Division I running back for Gulfport, so they're good. But Picayune wins this game every year. I mean, Picayune wins this game every year. So you go with the Maroon Tide to win on the road at Gulfport. Parker Nettles is the quarterback name. Thank you, Chris. Glad you came up with that. I know Gulfport thinks that kid is really good. So Picayune fans, be prepared traveling to Gulfport tonight. I think Picayune goes and wins that on the road. West Point's at Louisville. I don't even really need to break that game down because every year I'm going to pick West Point. Early doing the magazine, shout out to Chris Jones, to Wes Jones here. I picked Wes Jones, I think the second year, and they've now won a state championship, maybe two. I know one, maybe two. I can't remember, but you don't pick against West Point. They've been to the state championship game 9 years in a row. They won it last year. Hey, shout out to Vicksburg, new head coach last year for West Point, Coach Morgan, one of the three Morgan brothers. This is the youngest, Brett. They win a state championship in his first year running the show over there. They'll win tonight. If you're at that game, you're looking for Louisville's running back. His name's Zayden Jernigan. He's very young. He's just a sophomore, but he's a kid that if you see him tonight, you'll swear he's a senior. Like he's a stud. So Zayden Jernigan, remember that name if you didn't already. I'm going to check messages here too as I'm doing the show. A couple other things here. Let's see. Pearl at Madison Central. Sorry, Ryan. You know I have to pick Madison Central in that game. Toby Collins done a great job. They won the title now 4 years ago. And I know Toby has a young quarterback that's coming through there that can really go. Anxious to see how he plays in a big game, though. You know, he's a 10th grade kid. You don't always know. Pearl's quarterback is back, Jack Durr. If you forgot about him, he hurt his knee right before last year, had ACL surgery. He's back. The kid's really good. Tough kid, tough Pearl kid. You know, like he's the epitome of Pearl. And he gives them a chance. I think he's one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the state. But Madison Central at home is going to be too much. Hattiesburg at Petal. Hattiesburg lost a huge senior class. And Petal, with Marcus Broyles now in his second year, they have loaded up. They have, I don't want to say Division I players everywhere, but they have way more than they had before Marcus came back. I think he's probably the best coach in the state. Corey Wells, big defensive tackle for them, is going to Texas. They have a kid going to Arkansas State, Trey Bridges. Their punter's going to Mississippi State. He's a junior. They have a sophomore running back, I think, with Division I offers. So Petal will win that one at home. But, of course, Hattiesburg has what I believe is probably the best wide receiver, not just in the state, but in the country. And why am I forgetting his first name's Keys? Tristan Keys. Man, I'm in early season form here, so y'all got to bear with me. Tristan Keys, best wide receiver in the country, in all likelihood. It'd be hard to find somebody better than Tristan. Laurel's at West Jones. I don't want to go into that too long because, like I said, I got to get out of here to head down to this Hartfield game. And we'll do a show where I'm more into the messages. But I did want to do this live just to kind of give you guys an idea of what all I'm doing this year, and I'll do that here in just a second. Heidelberg at Noxubee County. I'm going with West Jones at home over Laurel. You pick Noxubee County. Heidelberg is unbelievable as a 2A, but Noxubee County's I tell you what, you give Heidelberg a chance. I shouldn't be that dismissive just because they're not a 1A. That's a 2A. They have a chance. Heidelberg arguably has more talent. Chase Craft at quarterback is a stud. Jaden Taylor, wideout for Noxubee County, Mississippi State commit. So they have a chance. BJ Payton, a big-time linebacker for Noxubee. It'll be hard to beat them at home. But Heidelberg might have enough to stay in that. Choctaw County at East Webster. Choctaw County all day. They lost a lot, but they bring back a couple of important guys. KJ Cork, senior quarterback for them, had a big year last year, and their defensive tackle, Ben Jarvis Shoemaker, is one of the top defensive tackles in the junior class nationally. And then the last game, Columbia at Hartfield. I don't really know what to expect out of this Columbia team. They have a chance. We had them ranked number 3 in 4A to start the season. Chip Bilderback is back as the head coach. He was there before, went to Louisiana as his wife, Missy Bilderback, was coaching, I believe, ULM. And his wife's awesome. And he tells the joke that he's the second best coach in his house. Chip may be right. She's awesome because she's now the Southern Miss women's basketball coach. But with her coming back, it allowed him to come back. Lance Pogue was there. And now Lance is at Brandon as their first-year coach. So we'll see what happens. I know they have a good team. I don't know if they have. This is why I would go with Hartfield. I saw what MRA did last year to Oak Grove, and I was at that game. And they destroyed Oak Grove. There was no joke, no fluke. Like, that happened. Hartfield has a difficult schedule. They play Columbia. They play Tupelo later, which would be that's an interesting game. But I'm going to go with Hartfield tonight for this reason. I have thought Braylon Womack was the best football player in the state for 3 years now. Like, I thought he was the best player as a sophomore, not in the class, but just period. Special kid, special player, really good kid. Like, the few times I've talked to him, he obviously has an idea what he's doing in life, like, smart kid. He is very difficult to stop. And they have Caden Catchings at running back. That's another Division I kid. He's committed to Liberty, has an offer from Michigan that happened recently, the last month. Coleman Williams, linebacker from last year, led them in tackles, is back. They have them missing somebody. Taryn Green, kid that's committed to, where is Taryn committed? I should remember this all off the top of my head from the magazine. South Alabama. But anyway, Hartfield at home over Columbia. Okay, a couple of things. And this is a rookie move because my voice is already going out here. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what happened to my what happened to the voice there. It's already scratchy. We're going to do this show every Friday, Gridiron Game Day, before the games, probably 5 o'clock. Do it for 30 minutes to an hour. I'll preview some of these games earlier in the week, so we won't be waiting till literally right before game time. But I will put together a 30 to 60-minute show that you guys can listen to before your pregame start. I think that's a good idea. We'll also have a postgame. So after the games tonight, get on X, get on Facebook. You can find where I am somewhere. It's not that difficult. And come back here, and we will talk about top performers. If you know somebody that had a great game, you need to come back here, put it in here, because we will feature them in our magazine that we do weekly. So Monday mornings, we'll have a digital edition of Mississippi Gridiron. And thank you guys for this year. It's unbelievable how many people read it online. And we had more ordered than I anticipated, to be honest. But we couldn't do it if it wasn't for that, because as great as our sponsors are, and I'm looking at them at the bottom of the screen there, I mean, I still have to do a good enough job promoting this to make it worth it. And that's where fans and parents come in. But back here tonight, top performers, big wins. I think I spit a little bit there. Could have got on the camera lens. Top performers, biggest wins around the state. We'll talk some high school football and just how everybody did. That should sum it up. That'll be about 10 o'clock tonight. Right back here, Gridiron Game Day, pregame, postgame. And then I'll go ahead and commit to an hour every day this week. Each morning, maybe not Labor Day. That's asking a lot. Like Labor Day. I need a break. Boys is already going. That's a problem. But Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock, we'll live stream, do a show. All right, you guys enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Enjoy the games. We'll talk to you in about 4 hours.